Okay, so I've had some people that, you know, I that try to put in phone jacks and just don't seem to know how to do it. So decided to make a little instructional video on the best way to do it. So this is what's referred to as a biscuit jack. On this particular model, there's a little wedge here on the side that you open up. I normally just use a flathead screwdriver. I just have my Leatherman's tool right now. You open it up like that. And it's got 6 pins in this one. Now, the main ones you need are the red and the green, which are the first pins, and then the black and the yellow are the second. And then the third pins are the white and the blue. Now, this is a Cat 5 wire. You can use it for phone wire now. So, a lot of phone industry, that's what they use. So, you just take a little bit of the outside casing off. If you look, sometimes when you're cutting it like that, you'll nick the inside cable. So what they have is a little guy wire in there, or guy line. So if you need to, if they make it well enough, you can just sit there and pull it back a little bit. That way you can get a little cleaner cut if you need to. I normally like to cut it back a little bit past where I do my first initial cut. That way I know I have clean cables that I'm working with. Now a lot of times, since the traditional phone colors are red and green, black and yellow, a lot of times what I see people try to do is they're trying to match the colors. So they'll take the green of the green white, then the orange of the orange white, try to use those two to connect it through. Problem is that it's really not good for, I mean, it'll work for phone signal, but it causes signal issues. It's really bad for internet issues. So if you're going to do normally what I do is a configuration, which is we'll start out with blue-white. Now with, if you're dealing with dial tone, normally it doesn't matter if you get your tip and your ring backwards. For most things, unless you're dealing with older princess phones, which have what's referred to as a polarity, they're polarity sensitive. So if, for instance, you're dealing with one of those older phones and you go and check it with like a regular phone and you're like, oh, I got my dial tone, but then you go to use your princess phone and it doesn't have one, it means you reversed your polarity. So basically it just means you need to, whichever way you did it, just reverse it. So whatever you have on what's referred to as your tip, put it on your ring. Now on this particular jack, it tells you for the green, you put the blue white, or you put the white blue on the green and the blue white on the red. That way you know what your polarity is. I normally like to take my needle nose, grab it like that. Yeah, this is too long. I'll grab my other ones. find where my kids put my ones I normally use, so then you're gonna, I normally like to put mine around clockwise like that. That way, as I'm tightening it down, it will pull it in and tighten it on for me. Now, normally for the second pair, what I like to do, a lot of times people nowadays don't have two phone lines. So for the second pair, I like to tie down the orange-white. So on this particular jack, you can't see it, it's really, light letters, but on the yellow side, it's saying orange-white, and on the black side, it's saying white-orange, which basically means that I'm going to be doing it reverse of what it was on the first one. So I'll just strip back a little bit of the sheathing there. Now I will like I said, I normally like to hook it like that. That way, as I tighten it down, it will pull it in, make it tight, give me a good connection between the two pins. Now, if you're going to tie another piece of cable in between here and you don't have a way to connect it, so let's say you need to take like this other end and it was going to another jack, but you don't have a way to connect it, don't use the wire nuts that the electricians have for other electrical things. They don't work very good for internet service. You can strip them back and put them in on these lugs. It'll work. It's not the preferred way, but it'll work. So then I normally like to leave a little bit of slack inside here. This particular one, that's what this part here is for, so that you can put it in. Then if you needed to put a screw in somewhere, there's two screws for there. This particular one comes with a double-sided sticky. So if you want to take you can take out these hole punches. That's where you can put the screws through without it going through the double-sided sticky. And you put the cover on, and you got the jack. That's a biscuit jack. And if you set it up that way, you won't have a problem with it. Thanks. Have a good night.